Now, okay, we've just started. We are live. Hello to everybody that is tuning in to listen to this episode of the podcast, which I'm very excited about. I'm very excited about this episode because the episode is going to be very close to my heart because the topic that we're going to talk on mainly is a topic that I've been very passionate about for 5 years, which is cinema, the world of cinema. And to help me talk about that, we have today a good friend that I met a year ago, right? Yeah.
Uh,
Uh, Amanda.
so a year and a bit, yeah.
Yeah. How are you? Again, once again, just so people know.
Hello, I'm Amanda. I'm well. Um, yeah, I'm excited to get started on this podcast. I love movies. I love
Uh,
I love film and television a whole bunch. I can probably talk for days about it. Yeah.
True.
So
Yeah.
I'm just as excited to get going and dive in.
Uh, thank you. Let's get it. But before it all, I wanna know more about your podcast actually because you're about to start a podcast. So I've already started recording a podcast of your own, right?
Yes, that is true. Okay, so it doesn't actually have a name at the moment, so it's a working titles.
Okay.
But the premise or the idea is that I watch maybe an episode or two of a television show, or like I watch a movie and that features black actors in Hollywood, and from there I kind of critique, so to speak, how they're portrayed through the Hollywood lens. A lot of the times we have black actors on screen and we see them, but they're usually filmed by white directors and they're
Yep.
usually written by white people,
Yeah.
essentially. So it there's a little bit of a disconnect in there because
Yep.
uh, how you writing a character that I mean, obviously, lots of artists are very creative, but sometimes there's a little bit of a disconnect on like how you portray Black people in the media, and a lot of the times it's kind of through a negative lens or it's very stereotypical, and there's nothing really new about the character. It's kind of like the same old tried and true method that they've done in the past. And
Yeah.
Black people are very dynamic, just as white people are very dynamic. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody in the world has very different dimensions to them, and they're not just one cookie cutter kind of shape. And I'm just my progress is or my journey is just watching that through the lens and seeing how they're portrayed and kind of critiquing of like how it could be done better or if it's done really well kind of thing.
That's dope. That's dope. I have so many questions about it because that's really super interesting. I think I told you on the voice note that I sent you on the Instagram that I've been actually searching a lot for movies that the cast is mostly black, or at least the lead actors and actresses are black, because I'm just interested in seeing more of that. My first question is, what movies have you already watched? Because you told that you've already recorded a few episodes, right? So what are some of the movies that you have already watched for that, or that you have on your list that you plan on watching for that?
So I've been mostly watching TV shows in the moment,
Okay.
just because like sometimes movies take a little bit of time. And I've been trying to do like half an
You're
hour.
one of those people. Oh no.
I, I do love movies. I do love movies, but I've been trying to like start small, like little bits and
Okay.
pieces, and then
Okay.
start moving from there. So one of the ones I've just recently done was Good Girls, and
Okay.
there's a character named Ruby in that show called
Okay.
Ruby, and I'm basically did one episode. I think it was a 30-minute episode, and then the next one I'm gonna do later today, and I'm just gonna review that episode as well. And it's just critiquing like the premise of the show is three girls who are kind of down on their luck. sorry, women who are down on their luck, they don't really have the ends to kind of help their family go where they need
Yeah.
to go. So they decide to, start robbing places, and that's where that's where the show kind of starts off there. I don't
Okay.
mention it in case like anybody wants to watch the show, but essentially, my main focus is Ruby. She's one of the
Yeah.
black women in the television show, and I'm just focusing on her interactions with her co-stars, and like how she's portrayed as well.
Okay. And so I'll assume that the writers slash the writers are not black, or are they?
They're not. But there's a lot of positive things so far that I've seen in in that show within the first episode.
Okay.
Of course, there's a lot of stereotypes for sure. Like out of her three friends, there's one that's like a homeowner, and sorry, she's a stay-at-home wife. One of them is a cashier at a grocery store, and like Ruby is a waitress at a diner. And out of three of them, like obviously, like one of them doesn't actually have a job, but she's secure enough that like she doesn't need a job because she's a stay-at-home mom. The other one is a cashier, which is like at like your local grocery store, but like she
Yeah.
is a waitress at a diner. And in America, I feel like when you're a waitress at a diner of all places, like you get really horrible pay. I think it's minimum wage, and like their minimum wage is less than our minimum wage, and they essentially rely on tips, and like she gets like $1 tip kind of thing. It's really
Yeah.
so like already there, like I know everybody has like horrible jobs out of the two people that do have jobs have horrible jobs, but she has the worst job. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yep. I agree.
and that's kind of like another thing that like Hollywood always does. Like no matter what, it's like the black character always has like the worst job. Do you know what I mean? Or she's like a secretary. Um, Another thing that I kind of noticed right away was that like she's kind of it's generally just like a comedy in general, but like she's already a little bit the loud character. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
But anyways, we'll leave that there.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. You don't want to spoil your whole show here on the podcast. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah. So
Okay. That's dope. That's interesting. When do you plan on making it available to the public?
probably within a month or so. I want to kind of get all of them recorded that I'm going to do for like the series, and then
Okay.
release them a week at a time, so there's no um
How
so
many episodes?
hold up or anything like that. So it's going to be like released on a certain day of the week, every single day of the
Okay.
every week at a certain time. So
Okay. How
yeah,
many episodes?
I'm thinking about doing 15 to 20 episodes.
Okay. Okay. That's
Yeah,
dope. That's dope. That's
yeah,
dope. I like that. I'm excited. Whenever you're ready, just send me the link and I'll go check. I'm excited. You
yes.
said it's gonna be 30 minutes per episode, right?
Sorry, say that again.
You said it's gonna be 30 minutes per episode, right?
Yeah, 30 to 45 minutes, depending on if I get carried away or not. I get I really get invested in certain things, especially in movies and television shows.
Yeah.
If it has a great premise to it and it has like potential, and then like somehow it ends up like they end up screwing it up somewhere somehow, be
True.
like
True.
writing or like the way the cinematography or the way it's been acted out. Like I get upset. I'm just like, but why didn't you just do this? Or like,
Yo, speaking of that, have you watched Queen and Slim, the movie?
I have watched Queen and Slim.
You have.
I did. I saw it in the theater about like a couple of months ago,
I
and
was so angry because of the ending. I was like, this movie was going so well. Why you have to fuck up the ending like that? I really didn't like. I don't know, maybe it's a personal thing, but I did not like that ending. That sucked. That was ass. I did not like the ending.
Okay, so what I liked about that movie is that they gave you hope that like the ending was not going to be that ending, even though like from the get-go you know that they're going to die. Because in any situation, especially what's going on right now all across the world in regards to Black Lives Matters, they have always mattered, but the movement is being pushed and it's like everybody is very tapped into the movement now. Uh,
Yeah,
whenever whenever somebody, a police officer, gets shot, whether it be by a black person or a white person or any kind of person, and they get shot and
yeah,
killed by
you
that person,
think, yeah,
the police like to send a message
yeah,
that
okay,
you
go
can't
on.
mess
Yeah,
with us. I think I'm not sure what the gentleman's name was, but there was an ex police officer who ended up killing another police officer, and he escaped in California into like the wilderness and things like that. And they sent, I think, a force of like 400
four,
or like
400. Yeah, it was 400 or something. Yeah,
400. Yeah, 400 people just for one person. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
So like I'm not surprised that the ending of Queen is Slim. I also, we should have told everybody, spoiler in case you didn't watch it.
Oh,
I'm
I'm horrible.
like
I'm sorry, every like anyone. We spoiled like 5 minutes ago the movie, but it's okay. It's okay.
a little bit too late for
Yeah.
spoiling
But yeah, I didn't. They really gave us hope to the last second. I was like, "Yo, they might make it. They just might." And then they fucking take all the like that. That's inhuman. I do not like that. That's suck. That's suck.
I think that was the brilliance of the film and how they've done it. It was amazing because you already know, like I already knew going into the movie that these guys were like, before I watched it, I didn't watch any of the reviews. I knew nothing about the movie other than the fact that like these two are kind of like a modern day Bonnie and Clyde, and they're running away from the police. Like that's as much as I knew about the movie. But like as soon as like the cop dies or the cop gets shot, right?
Yeah,
I knew that their lives were forfeit. Like I knew this, but the way, the brilliance of the filmmaking and how like uh, they how they guide you through their experience and uh their experience on the road makes you seem like, it makes you feel like they're not gonna get caught, because so many times, like okay, so they get, I think, I'm not too sure exactly if it was a flat tire or something happens to his car. Oh yeah, they run out of gas, right? Once
yeah.
they run out of gas and they run into the
Into a cop.
this
Yeah,
cop, or there's another cop or
sheriff.
whatever
Sheriff.
um that helps them. And you're like, "Oh my goodness, they're going to get caught. They're going to get caught." But they get away. Do you know what I mean? There, and then there's another instance where like they go to her uncle's place, whatever, and
Yeah,
they need the car or whatever, and like you don't think they're going to get help, or he's, you don't think he's going to help them out, but like they help them out. So like they have like so many instances throughout the movie
exactly. The whole movie, they were just getting away with everything. I was
running
like, okay.
away with it, like there a problem happens and then they get away, and like you see like the kindness of certain people, like they end up in the house of this person, of a friend or something like that, and like they end up being underneath the floorboards or whatever. It screams kind of like Harriet Tubman, kind of like, you know, kind of like run, like it kind of seems like obviously they're on a railway to get away from like the slave master. I don't know. It just had like so
Yeah.
many really cool elements to it, right? And then like they're in the garage just trying to start the car quietly, and it's
And the
not
cop
working.
helped them.
And the cop
Exactly.
literally, like as soon as the car starts, the cop opens up the garage, and like you think they're gonna get caught and they get away. So like they build it up really nicely where it's like, okay, these guys have all the luck in the world, they're gonna get away. You feel that they're gonna get away. They make you believe, like they make you love these characters, and so you're rooting for them to get away, to like, you know, live their life in peace.
Yeah, don't play with my emotions like that, man. Why you playing with my
And then
emotions?
Obviously, like the one person, I like out of all the people that like kind of are not supposed to help them, and you feel like this one person. I think the guy at the end who is like, I love you guys. I think you guys are great. Blah 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 blah. Like
Fucking
the one person
snitch.
that you think that like they're for sure that they're gonna help. That's gonna help them. Turns their backs on, turns his back on them, and
Fucking snitch.
I don't know. It was well done. I know you hated the ending, but I loved
Yeah,
it. I obviously
I do
didn't
not
like
recommend that movie to anyone. If anyone asks me, should I watch Queen and Slim? I'll be like, no, don't watch it. Just don't.
really. I would definitely recommend that movie, but I would also
Yeah,
say I would give them a disclaimer: be prepared for tears. You
yeah. Let
cry.
me think about it.
It was
Let me
definitely
think.
like I went to see it with two of my girlfriends, and I was crying in the theater, and I was just like, hey,
Really.
I
You know what movie I really did cry? I really cried, was angry. I had like 100,000 emotions in the end of this movie. Can you guess?
what your emotions were.
No, the movie.
Okay. Oh my god. Okay, so you're gonna be mad at me because I still haven't watched that movie.
No, I don't think we're talking about the same movie.
Sure?
No,
The one with Michelle Williams.
no, not that one. That's Manchester by the Sea, right?
Yes, Manchester by the Sea.
No, that you haven't. Okay, this is 25 minutes, so I can't go on a rant right now. I gotta keep track of the time. But you're
Honestly,
not being fair with yourself by not watching that movie.
honestly,
Oh man.
honestly, I remember I did send you like screenshot of me like actually going to watch that movie, but then like
Yeah,
I swear there's like some kind of force that's kind of saying like don't watch this movie because every time I sit down to watch that movie I get interrupted. So I'm sorry.
that movie had the best acting I've ever seen. But the movie I'm talking about that I really cried and was angry was Fruitville Station. I watched that movie.
Very good movie. Very good
Hey,
movie.
that movie was amazing. At the end I was crying, I was angry. I just wanted to punch somebody in the face. Like it was very emotional. It was very emotional.
Yeah, it's definitely a good film. It came out like I think 2013,
13.
and
Yeah, 13.
another duo, which is I think is Kugler and Michael B. Jordan. They
Michael B. Jordan. Yeah.
a lot of movies together. I think he also directed Black Panther with him with
Yeah. And
Michael
Creed.
B. Jordan in it as well. I watched it a really long time ago. Did you recently watch it?
I think I watched it a month ago.
A
Yeah.
month ago. Okay, so I watched this a really long time ago. So you're gonna have to like refresh me a little bit. But from what he has a daughter in this movie, right?
Yep, he has a daughter.
Okay, and then
He has a whole family. It's like he has his daughter that he's taking so good care of. He has his girlfriend that he's trying to make things right. He was selling dope, and then a few days before New Year's Eve, he decides to stop selling dope and actually get a quote unquote good job and stop with that. And then it was his mother's birthday, and he prepared the whole thing for his mother with his grandmother, the whole family. He was like a family man, taking care of everything. It was beautiful. It was amazing. And then, man, that movie, huh? Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I
It
think
was.
gets shot in the back. I think.
Yeah, he like literally the cops just shot him for literally no reason. It's there was really no reason. Like he was on the floor. They had already put the handcuffs on him, if I'm correct, and he was doing nothing. And the cop just took the gun out of his holster and shot him in the back, like literally for no reason. He didn't like, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
I remember that. I'm like, I mean, it's kind of a common occurrence. Really, is like when
yeah,
you already have the person detained, they're absolutely doing nothing, and then they still shoot them, which is really sad.
yeah.
But yeah, that was a really great movie. I remember being um I remember being very emotional during that movie, and it's like
Yeah,
because I remember like he was like you said, I remember him like trying to get his life together, essentially,
yeah,
and he was turning a new leaf, and like just when like people just it's just very sad how these things happen, like especially when so much
yeah.
on track and like they have so many people that are kind of counting on them to you know do the right thing. Like he has a daughter, he has his mom, he has his whole entire family there that depend on him, and for that to be taken away from them is just
It was one of the most emotional movies I've ever watched in my entire life. I
the
the
most
movie.
emotional. Interesting.
What?
I was gonna say the most. Oh wait, you have to tell me. Other
What?
than Manchester by the Sea, what's like your favorite movie?
Okay, Manchester by the Sea is not my favorite movie. It's just my favorite actor, specifically.
It's your favorite what?
My favorite acting, favorite acting performance is
Oh,
that by Ben Affleck. Yeah.
okay.
Uh,
Honestly,
yeah.
one of
Yeah.
I would say like I'm not sure if I've mentioned this to you, but I really love that movie Memento.
Oh, Memento. Okay. Okay.
That
That's dope.
was like really well. I think that was like really great acting. Like Guy Pearce, amazing.
Yeah, it was great acting. It was great everything. That's my favorite director, Christopher Nolan. That's my favorite
That was
director.
Christopher Nolan. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was like it was really well done, really, really well done, and like at like it's one of those movies that you have to wait until obviously like a lot of movies these days you watch and you kind of predict the ending or like what's going to happen during.
Yeah, I had no clue what was gonna happen there. I had no clue at all.
Literally every second like you're on the edge of your seat, like you're literally on the edge of your seat. What's gonna happen? Where are they going with this? You're asking a million questions every single second of the movie. And
Ooh, did you watch the one with Al Pacino, the Insomnia?
which one?
Insomnia.
Insomnia?
Yeah.
No, I don't believe I watched that one.
No. Oh, you should. You should. But yeah, you were saying. Sorry, I interrupted you. You were saying.
Um, no, I was just saying like at like every single step of the way, you're just wondering what's happening, what's going on, and I think it was really well executed. I think even till this day, people are just like still confused as to like um
Well, what happened exactly?
I watched this like YouTube video about like people kind of like oh Memento like Christopher Nolan like still trying to explain to people like this is how this is how it works out. But yeah,
Yeah,
one of
mind-boggling.
one of the really really nice like movies that um one of the really nice films that like kind of just keep you on the edge of the seat and makes you really want to rewatch it after you watched it to see like what you've missed kind of thing.
Yeah, no movie. But yeah, we're almost at the end of the 25 minutes, so I have to ask you the obvious question.
That's why
Yeah.
it's not enough. We have I think we've talked about like three movies and like
Yeah, and you know what? The first time that I made this podcast, it was the first time it was 2 hours and a half. I was like, this is the time I need for this podcast. 2 hours and a half. But people complained like it was nothing. They were like, bro, we're not gonna watch this. Then on the previous episode, episode two, I made it 1 hour. And people were still complaining. I was like, this is not possible. This is not
yeah.
possible. So now we're down to 25 minutes and yeah.
25 minutes and I haven't even like I don't know. I mean,
There is so much that I still have to ask you.
I
But what I will ask
haven't
you
even
now,
sorry.
what you were saying?
I was just saying like there's so much that I've said that I wanted to say but like I haven't had a chance to say yet.
You see, we might extend this, but let me ask you this: what's your favorite movies? Your favorite movies? I gotta know about your favorite movies.
Ooh, that's really hard thing to say. Like you can't I hate that question. Like that's one of the questions I really hate.
No,
And
you can't hide it. No, no, no. You gotta be decisive. You gotta decide which
I
are your favorite movies.
it's difficult. It's really hard to say like what is your favorite movie. I will say this because like I have an extensive list of like what my favorite movies are, and I'd be here forever. But I will say this: one of the latest movies that I watched was on Netflix. I think with Charlize Theron. Did you watch? Did you end up watching it? The Old Guard.
No, no, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Okay. All right. Then I won't say anything about it. I will not do any spoilers. It's very good.
Yeah.
It's action and it has like it was originally a comic book. A lot of people are
Mhm.
adapting comic books or graphic novels into movies these days. And
Yeah.
they're turning out really well. So definitely give it a chance if you're interested in action and uh kind of like a gory kind of end of the world kind of element ish mixed
Oh
in there.
God.
Um,
Okay.
but definitely check
Yeah.
it out.
Yeah.
Netflix
I'll
has
check.
good stuff these days. I do struggle with like finding great stuff, but like once you do find it, it's good.
Yeah. You know what I usually do to select my movies? I wait until the Oscars time and I just go
Oh,
to all
never
Oscar
do that.
nominations.
That's a horrible way to do it. Because you're biased. You like expecting the cat or you're expecting the foreign press or whatever they are to like say these are the
Yeah,
movies or whatever. And a
I
lot
know.
like they always snub really good films. And the films that they do select, like um sometimes the films that they do select are actually not that great. Do you know what I mean? Or like you won't remember them after they've been selected for that year. Like next year, you be able to like, oh, who what film won best
Yeah,
what film won best cinematography? You would have no idea. Do you know what I mean? Like it's
yeah,
I find that like sometimes it's highly irrelevant, um, and they need to kind of like expand what they nominate, because um, using a slogan that they've that's been popular on Twitter, like hashtag Oscars so white kind of thing.
yeah.
There's so many films. Oh, before I go, one more film that was actually on nominated for Oscars and Emmys that was actually really good. It's a Korean film.
The Parasite.
Exactly, Parasite.
I've
Amazing.
not watched it. I've not
Amazing.
watched it.
I've been saying for ages. I've been watching a lot of foreign films, especially on Net. One of the good things about Netflix is that like it gives you access to a lot of different cultures in the films that they create, and I've been loving like Korean films lately. I kind of got into it most. Well, I got into foreign films mostly because I wanted to watch a little bit of action, and I want a different kind of action. And there's oh my god, there's this one movie called IP Man, and I kind of got into foreign films based on that film, and then I
Because of that movie.
a whole bunch of like foreign films after that, no matter if it's like Korean, Chinese, Brazilian, like everything. Right now, I'm obviously on Spanish movies and television shows because I'm trying to learn Spanish, but amazing. But yeah, Parasite, one of the best movies I've seen. Amazingly well done. Great.
I think I should. But the problem with that for me is the audio. I like to listen and hear a language that I can understand. The whole reading subtitles or having some voiceovers, I don't enjoy that.
Well, this is subtitles, not voiceovers, and I agree with you. I don't like voiceovers because what they do is like it makes it inauthentic because you see the person's mouth moving.
I mean something, but the sound is something else.
Yeah, it doesn't line up with what they're actually saying. So like I definitely wouldn't recommend doing a voiceover because I feel for me as a like a real as a true movie goer, like that it kind of
Yeah.
ruins the experience. Subtitles I don't mind at all. I'm kind of getting used to like reading subtitles and like
Really?
at the same
Okay.
though it I wouldn't see a movie with subtitles in the theater just because sometimes I need to pause and like go back sometimes
Oh, okay, 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 yeah.
in another language they'll say something that's like really short, but in English it's actually for them to describe it in English is actually like basically a paragraph. And so like you have to kind of like pause like okay, what did they say kind
Okay, but I can read. Yeah.
of
Mm.
but yeah, definitely. Have you watched Parasite or no?
No, I have not. A friend has been forcing me
Oh
to
my
watch it. He
goodness.
said that it's the best movie. It was the best movie of the year and shit. So I'm like, okay.
Honestly, like that was one thing that they definitely got right. It was one of the best movies. Really good, very great acting. Um, the emotions that these characters go through. Oh my goodness, the emotions. The desperation. Ah, there's so sorry.
Okay.
Okay, that was
Do
we're.
not spoil, please, please. Do not spoil, please. I want to watch it.
I was just gonna say it's 30 we're 30 minutes in and we're over time.
Yeah,
But
I was thinking, you want to go for 45 minutes? I think we can do 45. 45.
I mean, if you like, I'm not sure if your viewers are gonna be happy
You know
about
what? Viewers, you just fucking watch this, okay? We're giving you good content. Do not complain about the time. Just watch it. Yeah, goddamn.
I don't know. Parasite's really great. There's I'm not gonna spoil it, but like obviously it follows this family, a family of four. I'm just giving a little bit of the background just for people who
Do
haven't heard
not
of it. It's a
spoil.
family of
Do not spoil.
I'm not spoiling it's not spoiling. It's
Okay.
as a family of four and they're kind of just down on their luck, essentially. Or I would that's the best I'm gonna explain it without spoiling anything. And
Okay.
they find an opportunity for them to make money. So they're a really close knit family, and they like spending time with each other. And they find an opportunity to kind of work together, and also spend more time with each other, kind of thing. And it
Okay.
kind of devolves into this rapidly unhealthy situation. So yeah, that's as best I can explain it without spoiling anything.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
um,
I'll, I'll give it a shot. I really will give it a shot. This year. I don't know. Maybe in the
this
next
year,
4 months.
oh my god,
This year. I'll give it a shot this year. Speaking. Sorry. Excuse me. Speaking of foreign films, you've watched City of God, right? So that there's
say that again. City of God.
City of God.
No, I. Oh, is that with the one that happens in Brazil?
Exactly that one. No.
Or yeah, I've watched it a long time ago,
Oh.
2002. It's been
Okay.
ages.
That is a classic, classic, classic Hall of Fame movie, bro. That movie is amazing. That movie is one of the best movies I've ever watched in my life. That movie is amazing.
It's been ages. It's no doubt. I remember when I did watch it. It was an amazing movie. Great experience.
Yo, so amazing.
Great experience. But it was 2000. It was what, like over 18 years ago.
Oh, don't act like you don't watch the movies from the 60s. I know you do.
Oh my god! I think I'm showing my age a bit, but like yeah,
I know you
that's
watch the movies from
what,
the
like
60s.
18 years ago. Yeah, it was like one of those things that kind of like brings you straight into the movie, and it was like as if you're right there. It's really well filmed, and the storyline
Yeah.
was really amazing. Um,
Oh, the movie is so intense. I loved it.
very very intense, especially the opening scene. I remember the opening
Yeah.
scene very vividly. I think they're like chasing a chicken in the opening
Yeah.
scene. Like the fact that like I vaguely remember like the rest of the film because it's been so long and I definitely have to rewatch it. But I remember like one thing vividly, and it's just like literally they're running after a chicken, I think, in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was amazing. But you're dodging my question. I asked you your favorite movies, top
Okay,
five favorite
I
movies.
am judging it because like I still what I will give you instead of my favorite movies is like a guilty pleasure movie.
No, we want the favorite. No, 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 no. You're not gonna know. You want to know your favorite
Oh
movies.
my
You have
goodness.
to. You
Okay,
have to.
you're gonna laugh. Anybody who watches who listens to this is probably gonna be like, "What? This is gonna come like out of totally left field." Um,
No, tell us. Tell us.
but my favorite movie is actually a musical ish.
Okay.
And I don't know if you would like it's still a film, but
Yeah.
it's called don't laugh at me. But it's called The Sound of Music.
The Sound of Music. I've heard a lot of people saying good things about the movie, but I've not watched it yet. I haven't watched it yet.
I don't know if honestly, it was my favorite movie when I was younger because it has like a lot of um it has like a bunch of like nostalgia like wrapped around it, and then I also ended up going to Austria and visiting the places that the film was filmed, especially like that little gazebo scene where they're singing like "You are 16 going on 17," that whole entire bit. Please excuse my singing. um, so like I was there where they filmed it, and it's actually a lot smaller than it actually like they portrayed on the on. It's like
Yeah.
crazy tiny, and it's just like there's no way that they filmed all of that in there, but apparently they did. Um, or
Should I watch the movie?
or
Should I
maybe
watch it?
the tour guide was mistaken. But yeah, definitely watch the movie. It's about a it takes place in during World War II or the beginning of World War II.
Okay.
It
Okay.
obviously takes place in Austria. Um,
Um,
and it's about that time where like Hitler's kind of
yeah.
pressuring Austria to be a part of the war. Do you know what I mean? And like,
Yeah.
so it follows the Von Trapp family, and the head of the family is he has a whole bunch of children, and he is a single parent. His wife had died a couple of years previously, and he's stuck with taking care of his children, a huge group of children.
Yeah.
And he gets a governess to um so governess is like, I guess what they call, I would just call, she was a nun, and they got a nun to come from the convent to basically take care of his children, and the children are
Okay.
very badly behaved and also very much in need of affection and love because the father doesn't know how to. Obviously he's a military man, so he has that whole entire
Mhm.
stereotype of being like
Yeah. Yeah.
colds and like um not easy to access his feelings. He doesn't show his feelings well at all. He's very closed off. So enters governess Floorline Maria, comes into the scene, and at once everybody starts having all these emotions. So like in the beginning, the children are very cold. The father is very cold. Even his fiance that he's about to get married is also very cold. Everyone's showing no emotions, and then you have
Yeah.
Flora Maria, who's played by Julie Andrews, and she comes in. She's a bubble of emotions. Like she's like basically a kid hyped up on like a bunch of sugar, and then comes into the family and injects all this love, life, and color into the family, and like
Okay.
changes
I'll
the
watch
whole
it.
entire
I'll watch it.
trajectory of like where they were going to go. So
I'll watch it. I'll watch it.
I know you were probably like expecting
Exciting.
something
I'll
else,
watch it.
but that's it.
Okay. Sound of Music. I've heard good things about it before, so you seconding it. I'll definitely watch it this year. Within this year, I'll still watch
Why
it.
are you giving like all the movies that I recommend like a timeline of like this year? You do realize that like we have so many more months left.
Yeah, but this
Like 5 months. Like you
it's difficult because when I sit down to watch a movie, I'm zoned in, and like for me to have those 2 hours, which is usually 2 hours, zoned in into a movie and nothing else, it takes a lot of preparation. I have to do my cardio, and it's difficult. It's difficult.
I definitely feel you.
Yeah.
Nowadays I'm also very selective about watching certain movies. But I'm trying to get out of that habit because I used to watch like movies, good, bad, whatever, because like
Yeah.
it was a movie to me and they were just magical. I mean, when you're a kid, like everything's super magical, but like films and the films for me especially were super magical, no matter if they were really badly done or not. Like even
Yeah.
badly done movies, I'm just like, I always thought to myself, I could do that better for some reason.
Yeah.
But I still like them. Like there was any movie, like even though they're horrendous, if they're horrendously bad, I always took away one good thing from it. I'm just like, they done this really well, or this was like even even though the directing was horrible and the acting was horrible, the storyline and what they intended for the storyline was really well done. um, so I never ever like kind of like hate a movie. I always find something good about them, no matter
I
what.
hate Queen and Slim. I hate Queen and Slim.
Oh my god, we're still on
I
that.
hate
Still on
Queen and
hating.
Slim. I'm never gonna get over that. That
You know,
was
you
I
know what? You hate it because it broke your heart. That's what it is. And
He
any
played with my emotions though. Like I don't, there's Get Out. Of course, Get Out. Get Out. Jordan Peele said he had an alternate ending for the movie. The movie was not supposed to end like that. He was supposed to end dead or something bad was gonna happen to the dude. But he sat down. He thought, you know what? Black people go through so much in this country. We're always losing as a race. Let me give black people a win for once. Let us have a happy ending, and it became the one of the most amazing movies ever made. And I was hoping the same here. Like, yo, we losing so much in real life. At least in the movies, give us some hope. Let us win. And they took that away from me, and I don't fuck with that. I don't like that.
I
No,
think because it was realistic. Do you know what I mean? Because it's not deluding you of the fact that like, hey, if this happens in real life, I'm going to get away with it. No, it's very clear cut. Like you will get killed. I know it's sad. I know it's like I know it's not a win. And like everybody, honestly, everybody in that theater that I saw it with were definitely hoping for a win too. And they all came out
no.
super disappointed. But I would argue what makes any great movie a great movie is for it to instill such great emotion in you that you come away with saying, I hate it, or like that made me cry, or like that character pissed me off, excuse my language, kind of thing. Any kind of movie or a performance within a movie or a television series or anything like that that makes you feel any type of strong emotion, whether it's like hate, love, happiness, you're scared to death, like you're horrified, any of that. If a movie is able to draw out such a strong emotion, I will tell you that is one of the greatest movies ever,
Mm,
because
You know what?
there's so many
Uh,
movies that just don't do anything for you. But if they're able to do that, and especially if a performance in a movie was able to do it, like by an actress or an actress, then that's an amazing actor. That's an amazing actress, and you give them
I
props.
see. I see what you're saying. But yeah, Daniel Kaluuya's performance, that was an amazing performance. His performance was all star. The girl also had a great performance from midpoint until the end. The first half I didn't feel it. The first half I didn't feel it.
And
But yeah, what?
in Queen and Slim,
Yeah.
yeah, in the beginning she was definitely off-putting, and like she had like an attitude towards her and stuff like that, which is kind of like I think that's exactly what they were going for. You wanted her like he was from the get go already laid back, easy to like, and she was his opposite. And I think they
Yeah,
definitely did that on
but I
purpose.
feel like it was a little forced the acting, even though I know that's what that's kind of the vibe that they were going for,
Yeah,
having her a
because
little
like she
off-putting.
went
But
on
she
dates.
kind of on the acting, she kind of forced that a little too much, and it just came out as I don't know, I didn't feel the acting.
She
But
forced.
then yeah, I feel that
I feel that like they did it on purpose because like the whole entire interaction
really.
was that like she went goes on a date and she was literally just going on a date with anybody. She just didn't care. Like she just wanted to get out of the
Yeah.
house. And like you can tell from right away like she just definitely didn't like him at all. Like the way he was eating, she was kind of saying like,
Yeah.
"No, I'm better than this." Like she's like, "I this is ridiculous. Like I can't. Like why am I here?" Do you know what I mean? And I think
Yeah.
that was definitely done intentionally, and it made you feel like it was forced. I felt awkward in that first scene too. It was just like, okay, like he
Yeah.
obviously doesn't like him. You know what I mean? And like especially during the dialogue, he's like, you took forever to respond. Do you know what I mean? So like why did you decide out of the blue to finally meet up? Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
there's definitely things going on there. I really liked the movie. I liked every little bit.
I'm not with you there. I'm not with you.
I'm
Anybody listening, don't watch the movie. I'm telling you. I'm being honest. Don't watch the movie. The
I'm
movie is
saying
horrible.
watch
The ending
the
is
movie.
horrible. The
Definitely
ending
watch it.
specifically is horrible. Like the rest of the movie is pretty good, pretty great, actually great. But the ending, it sucks. Don't watch the movie.
I'm
Okay.
telling you guys, don't listen to your host of this podcast. Don't do it. Listen to me. Watch the movie. It's definitely worth it. It's one
Nah,
of
I'm
those,
not watching.
it's gonna be one of those classics.
I'm
Down a couple years
not
down
watching.
the road, people are gonna be like, "Have you watched Queen Slim? I can't believe you never watched it."
Nah, it's not gonna become that. That's not. No,
Yes.
that's what people say about Manchester by the Sea. Actually,
No, no one says that about Manchester by the Sea.
that's what people say about
No
Manchester by the Sea. Oh, you not watch it? Oh, I don't know what planet you're living on. I don't know what planet you're living on.
It's called
That
Planet
performance
Earth.
was all star. That
Earth,
performance. Oh
and
my
I
God.
am
Oh,
currently.
yes, watch that.
I'm just saying, definitely watch Queen and Slim for sure.
Nah, I don't know about that. I
Definitely,
don't know about that. But
definitely.
yeah, we've made 45 minutes, but I feel like I still have a few things I want to know. So I don't know. I think I'm not going to time these things. People just watch it, just enjoy, just listen. These are very thoughtful conversations. We put a lot of thought and emotion and energy and soul and heart into this. This is not your regular Debo podcast. No, this is not. This is a real podcast by real people trying to bring real value into your real life. So, god damn it, just take a few more minutes to listen. All right. With that said, now we have a little bit of a time for some sponsorship. Well, I'm going to sponsor my own thing here, even though there's no money being transferred from one hand to another. But I've just launched the whole Trailblazers Club thing. We have some sweatshirts coming through. They're looking dope as fuck because they were made again a lot of hearts, a lot of real emotion and devotion towards this. So yeah, just check him out. Probably on my profile, you're gonna find something in the last couple of hours, and that's what's up. All right, back to the podcast with Amanda. How do
Woo!
I pronounce your last name, by the way?
Sorry,
How do I pronounce your last name?
Slater.
Amanda Slater. There you go. There you have it.
Yes, nice.
I was gonna ask you. You have first. Let me just tell you about my favorite movies. You're gonna like this list because there's a story for me to tell of something that happened when we met. So
Okay,
my favorite movies, number one, Interstellar, all time, no doubt. Interstellar, you've watched it, right? You've
I
watched
have
it.
watched it. Yes, it's a great movie.
Okay.
Definitely. I am.
Favorite movie
I
of
am
all
judging you silently as you name your movies. So continue.
time. Okay. Interstellar, number one, favorite movie of all time, undisputed, undefeated. There's no doubt. It is what it is. It's Interstellar.
Okay,
Number
cool.
two, number two, number two is Creed two. Creed two.
Okay,
Creed two
good
is
choice.
number two favorite movie of all time.
Mhm.
Number three is Black Panther. Number three is
I'm
Black
sensing
Panther.
a theme. I'm sensing a theme, but continue.
Number four is The Hateful Eight.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah,
Interesting choice out of Quentin Tarantino movies. I could
I
name
know, I
two
know,
other
I know.
movies that are
Many
better
people
than
will
that
think that I'm crazy for making this choice. Yeah,
one. I will criticize you for that. I would definitely choose Jackie Brown over that. I would definitely choose Pulp
Jackie
Fiction
Brown,
over that. I would definitely choose
Glorious Bastard.
Reservoir Dogs over that. But
Yeah,
also Kill Bill as well. Kill Bill 1 and 2 over that. But continue.
I know, but it is what it is. It's The Hateful Eight. And number five is between Birdman and Whiplash. One of those.
Oh my god, okay. So let me tell you about I seen both Birdman. Actually, okay. I've seen Whiplash and I've seen a bit of Birdman. I could not get through it. Like I
A
watched it
bit.
like 5
What do you
times
mean?
trying to get through
You're not being
Birdman.
serious. You're not being serious a bit. What the heck does that even mean? A bit. How dare you?
I'm sorry. I tried. I think like
Oh,
because
God.
I've spoken to people like you who love
Oh,
Birdman. And I saw the first time I watched Birdman was in the theater. And maybe like I think it was half an hour into the movie and still nothing was happening. I was like, what's going on here? So we left the theater. I think that was the first movie I ever in my whole entire life where I sat down to watch it, paid for it, and left the theater.
That just doesn't make sense at all.
It just
I've
it makes
spoken to people like you
so
that
tell me.
shit on Birdman. They say, "Oh, I don't understand the movie. What is this about?" And I'm like, "Come on, what the heck? Are you kidding me?"
I didn't finish watching it, so I can't really fairly critique it. But I did try watching it about 3 times, and I get frustrated every single time. So I will not. I will say no more about Birdman. But I'm really interested about your first choice, Interstellar. Out of all the movies that you mentioned, there was like I definitely would say like Whiplash. I would probably put Whiplash over Interstellar.
What the heck? Okay, first,
I
first
would. I would. Interstellar is really good. I'm not gonna lie. It was amazing. It's done.
really good.
It was like
No,
I like the
I'll go on the
storyline.
rant. I will go on the rant.
Go ahead.
I'm ready to go on the rant. But first, before I go on the rant, I have to remind you. I don't know if you remember this because of the second movie. I said that my favorite movie, number two, was Creed 2. I
Yeah.
remember we were both in Barcelona,
Yeah.
and you arrived, and we were like, "Oh, let's meet." All that. We went to that burger joint. I don't remember the name.
Oh yeah, that was
The,
a good
the
place.
burger joint. Yep, we went there. Started talking about movies. We both passionate about movies and television and all that. And I told you, oh, last night I watched Creed 2. And you were like, oh, really? I was like, yeah, it's dope and all that. And then you asked me, so what's your favorite Rocky movie? And I said, never watched Rocky.
Ah,
And
have you, I remember getting upset about that. I do. I do remember getting upset about
what the fuck? I feel like Rocky. What?
Rocky movies are a classic. Okay, there are certain movies that, like, if you are a movie connoisseur, uh,
Yeah,
it's like one of those things that you have to have had watch. And Rocky is
yeah,
one of them. And also the fact that you watched Creed and you haven't watched any of the Rocky.
yeah. Yeah, so that's another story that really did happen. You really did get man. But I still have not watched Rocky,
Oh,
so
that's what I was about to ask. You still haven't watched it.
no, still haven't watched it. But that's that. But
You're
on Interstellar, I will tell you the reason Interstellar is my favorite movie is because that movie on so many aspects touches my soul, man. It touches my soul. From the beginning, you're seeing this guy that is a has come to have no option but be a farmer. He has no option. The world is to shreds. You don't need engineers. He has no option, just like everybody else, to be a farmer. But his mind and his soul is not there. He saw the flying thing, the fucking jet or whatever that was flying around, and he got so happy. He was like, "Yo, let's chase it." He's a trailblazer. He can't. His heart pumps when he's looking at his future and innovation and whatnot. He's a dreamer, and at any opportunity he goes for that. But at the same time, he loves his daughter so much. His relationship with his daughter, that relationship is beautiful, man. She make me cry every time I watch, man. His relationship with his daughter, and then how they always together, and how they were both led towards the facility in NASA. And anyway, and it's just me seeing this man that really cannot settle in life, that is always pushing forward to the future, to what is going to be, and then he gets at a point where he has to choose between that and his daughter, which he loves so dearly. And then he manages to be like, you know what? I care about both of these things. Let me make them both work out. I will make it work out. And at no second he forgets about his daughter, but also at no second he forgets about the mission at hand. And it's just, he's a trailblazer. He cannot settle, and the love guides him, and his wisdom guides him. It's a story about love and just purpose. It's I can't even talk about that movie without shedding a little bit of a tear. That movie is amazing. That's the blueprint for life well lived, in my opinion. God damn.
right. Yeah, definitely. It was a great, great film. I mean, um, I like the obviously the relationship
Be
aspect.
careful with your words. Be careful with your words. We might end this friendship right now in the next 10 minutes.
I was just about to say like the relationship the relationship aspect of the film is really well done. There's so many different relationships going on, like obviously the relationship between him and his daughter, the relationship between, I think, one of the astronauts that go there, I think, was the Anne Hathaway character and
Yeah, exactly.
her fiance. And then there's the relationship with like uh, Matt Damon's character, I think, and his own ego and like his own self of worth. Like his
Yeah,
selflessness in that movie is like whoa, like out of this. Sorry, excuse me. Like it's out of this world. Like this guy lied. Like he flipping
yeah,
dude, like thinking because they went because they thought like his planet was viable,
yeah,
literally went to his planet, um they literally went to his planet to save him, and like once they did that they had no way home kind of thing, right?
yeah,
Because
exactly.
they thought that his planet was the planet and they're gonna go home. But since he lied, they're like, okay, so we still don't have a viable planet to live. This guy, like, he frustrated me so much. Like, I love
Isn't that
Damon. I love his movies. I love like what he does. But like after that movie, I was like, yo, I was almost like Jimmy Kimmel on like one of his specials and saying F Matt Damon. Like um, but yeah, definitely great movie. I loved the space aspect of it. Like I'm one of those
it
people.
was beautiful. It was beautiful. Oh my god.
I love when like movies do a really great job of like depicting outer space. Obviously, I've never been outer space to outer space at all, but like the depiction of it and like how it makes you feel like you're lonely and you're cold and you're so detached from.
Ooh, that's gravity.
They've done a really good job of like making them letting them know that they actually are alone. And then also, um, what was really sad is when they went on that planet, they left one astronaut on the spaceship, and they went down to the planet, and they were literally down there for like maybe a couple of like maybe an hour or a couple of minutes. I'm not even sure. It was very short. And they come
It
back, and the astronaut that they left on
was old.
has
Yeah.
aged years. And like his story when they come back, he's like, I've waited and I waited and I waited and I waited.
That movie is close to perfect, man. That
Like
movie is.
that one bit in the movie, like out of all like bits, that was heart wrenching. Like imagine being alone for so long and like
In outer space.
to wait. Like imagine like just wanting to give up. Like that emotion must have been so strong and so prevalent. And like they didn't really touch on it, which is sad. Like they should have touched a little bit on like how depressed he was. Like he just had his little speech, and then everyone was sad for a bit, and then they kind of went on their business. Do you know what I mean? Um, that could have been explored just a little bit, but obviously it's already a long movie. There's so many more other aspects to explore. But another thing that I'm probably going to be talking about in my podcast, I'll probably watch Interstellar just for him. Is that like black stories are not really told. Like he's in the movie and he's a character just like everybody else, but like his story and his arc is kind of like literally 5 minutes of the movie. Do you know what I mean?
I
Um,
know, but you can criticize Interstellar. That's my favorite movie. You
okay,
can do
yeah.
that.
I'm gonna you know what? I'm gonna do Interstellar on my podcast. Just
Um,
you know what? I'll probably you know what? I'll make it my first episode. Like I'll put it in order and I'll put this one as the first one.
you can criticize Interstellar.
And
Definitely.
I'm like, this is for you.
Nah.
Yeah,
But yeah,
great movie.
that movie was amazing. That movie was amazing.
I have
Mm.
a question for you though. What is your favorite cult classic kind of movie? So like, Breakfast Club, you know, Ferris
Goodfellas.
Day Off.
Goodfellas.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Goodfellas.
Good Fellas.
Yep.
Definitely one of the best movies there. Like,
That movie is something else, man.
so
That
like, is
movie is
that
something
one of
else.
your favorite mafia movies? Because like, there's so many. There's like Godfather. There is
Godfather 2. Godfather 2.
Godfather 2.
Yeah.
Godfather
I
2.
don't flinch. I know my movies. I don't flinch. I know all of them.
What about Untouchables? Have you watched that?
Which one?
Untouchables.
No, I've not watched it. Nah,
Roscoe.
no.
All right, so you know your movies, but you don't know your mafia movies. It's okay.
The mafia movies. I know my Godfathers, Goodfellas, and everything Scorsese. Mean Streets, Gangs of New York,
Everything Scorsese.
everything Scorsese. Mean Streets, Gang of New York's, The Irishman, all of it. I know all of it.
Irishman. Eh, Departed, really good. Definitely Goodfellas.
Departed.
If you like,
Yeah.
definitely Goodfellas for sure. Um, but yeah, like the Goodfellas, Donnie Brasco. I would definitely say Donnie Brasco and Goodfellas are like one of the top two because what's Johnny Depp did an amazing job in Donnie Brasco. And Al Pacino, like for the first time, well, not the first time, but like his role in Donnie Brasco was like he was definitely he wasn't his like typical role. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
He
Okay.
played like he wasn't like one of the main mafia people. Do you know what I mean? He's
Okay.
definitely one of the respected, kind of respected, but he has like you know what it is? Okay, like kind of put it in perspective of like you're working at a company like, in regards to the mafia. But like you have your top boss, you have like the two people that are under him, and then you have like a bunch of underlings, and then you have middle
Yeah.
management, right? And Al Pacino is
Yeah.
kind of like middle management in Donnie Brasco, and he's unable to like break that ceiling into like to the higher tier. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
And like his story is kind of sad in the fact that like he finds this young guy and he's like he's doing well in the mafia and he's like he brings him up and stuff like that and like he vouches for him and because he's respected and people know him, he's like, all right, we'll bring this guy in. And that wait, have you seen Donnie Brasco?
Me? No, I've not. But you're spoiling it.
Sorry, I will not. I will. You know what? I won't spoil it because I actually want you to watch this movie and I want you to love it.
Okay. How? Let me watch this. Donnie Brasco.
Write it down right now. Um,
Okay. 1997. Okay.
Donnie Brasco, amazing. I'll just leave it at that. I'll stop because I don't want to. I know a lot of people who are spoiler people, and I hate them about. Like I always.
You just become one of them. We
I'm not.
both have
I'm
become.
not a
We
spoiler
both have
person.
become one of them.
No, I'm not. Another good mafia movie is Casino. I loved
Oh
Robert.
yeah, I watched this one. Wait, did
Ooh,
I watch Casino? I have it, but I don't think I've watched it. Yeah, I have
I've
it.
watched that movie like over and over and over. Like
Wow.
you've seen it. You've seen it, right?
No, I haven't.
Oh.
No.
Okay, I will not. I will not spoil it. Please watch that movie, please.
Yeah. I watched Donnie Brasco and Casino and Casino.
It's, you know,
And there's so much more. You know what else I wanted to know from you?
and
I
the
wanted
Untouchables, and the Untouchables,
what and what?
the Untouchables.
Okay. I'll put my list: Donnie Brasco, Casino, and Untouchable. And I was saying there's so much more that I want to talk to you. You know what I wanted you to talk about your background in film, because at a certain point in high school you were actually making films, and when you told me that, I was like, you the real deal. You're actually in the editing room, editing the films, editing the audio, and making actual films. And I really wanted to talk about that.
Yes,
But
in high school we had like this tech class where um essentially our teacher was like would make up like these projects randomly on the go. So like our first project was like something called like claymation. So I'm not sure if you ever watched a show called Pengu on like PBS or anything like that.
no,
Like okay, so claymation is basically you make. essentially you make these like miniature little characters and stuff like that, and it like has essentially like no sound. You can add sound if you want to, but like for the purpose of our project, we didn't add any sound. And essentially, it was just like literally we made these characters out of clay, and we would have to like create a scene, and based on like what how we positioned the individual characters, we would the person who would have to get what is happening on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
And how it was done is that like we would press record and then have the character in one spot, press stop, move it an inch, press record,
Oh,
stop, move it an inch, and it was literally like that. So the camera was like standstill, and you move the character like a little bit at a time, and it was just I forget what the actual term is for that, but it was like basically just like it was filmed just like as a stop go stop go stop go,
yeah.
and then when you would play it back in full, it was almost like one seamless movement of the character kind of thing. We started like that, then we moved up to like making our own like short films and stuff like that. And one of the bigger projects that we did was me and a group of like three other guys. We were all obsessed with Star Wars, so we wanted to like create our own like lightsaber.
I hated episode 9, by the way. Episode 9 was trash. But yeah.
A lot of things about that series. They went so wrong with Star Wars that they could have went so
Yeah.
many different ways, but they chose the worst way possible. I don't understand, but I understand they had some issues because one of the actresses passed away.
Yeah.
So they
So,
weren't able
yeah.
certain things. But yeah, so like we did this lightsaber kind of battle thing, and like editing and creating like the lightsaber effect was like one of the funnest things ever. Like doing the battle itself, like fighting and like having to record certain things backwards or like pretend that you're using the force, like having to have the actor do certain things in certain ways, so it made it look like they were actually using the force in them, was really interesting and fascinating. Um, and I don't know. I wish actually. I think I might still have it, but it's on VHS. Um,
Ooh, I don't know how you're gonna play that.
honestly, I
I
think
don't
I'm
know.
trying to convert VHS to. I don't even know. I
I don't know where you're gonna play that. Have you ever thought of going back to making movies, writing movies, or whatever?
have I thought about doing that. Yeah. For sure. It's like usually when I have like my like 30 minutes of like daydreaming during the day and stuff like that, I it's usually me thinking about a movie or like a scene in a movie or like a character that I've developed in my mind and like how this scene would go and like what the interactions are. So I definitely daydream scenes of multiple scripts and shows or ideas that I've thought up during the time, and just like, okay, this is what's going to happen. This is where the character's development's going to go, kind of thing. And like,
Yeah.
this is what he would say, and this is his reaction, and how it would happen. And but like, I haven't actually started writing it down until recently. So um,
Okay.
definitely exploring all those types of avenues. We'll see where it goes. See if any of the ideas actually have um, holds any value or if anybody's interested in them. But we'll see. Um, yeah, it's
You
definitely
gotta,
progress. Definitely work in progress.
you gotta make it happen. You gotta get on that, and I, yeah, you have to get on that eventually. Doesn't have to be tomorrow, but yeah,
Yeah.
I think you make great movies. I don't know why I have a feeling, even though you say that Interstellar was just good, and you say some other crazy nonsense that I don't understand sometimes about Birdman. But regardless of all of that, I think you will make great movies. But now we've hit the 1 hour, and I know this was supposed to be 25 minutes, and then we were like, 45 minutes, and then it turned into an hour. But I think we can close it at this. It
Oh,
was the perfect,
definitely, definitely, definitely.
it was
Hopefully,
a perfect point to go. Yeah, Amanda just promised us that she's gonna make movies, so that's
what?
exactly where we close.
What? I did not promise any such thing.
That's exactly where we close, so we can hold her accountable in the next 40 years or 30 years. Yeah,
Hopefully, this hopefully in the next couple of years that actually does come true, and then I get to reflect and like listen to this podcast and be like,
yeah.
oh my god, like how ridiculous did I sound back then? um, it'd be something really cool to like look back onto for sure. And this was definitely really fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Honestly, I wish we had more time because I feel like we haven't even touched the surface, scratched the surface. There's like I didn't even mention my ridiculous love for Fast and the Furious movies. Um,
Ooh, that'd be. You know what? We have to make a part two.
that
I
is
have a few.
another story
I
for
have a
another
few.
day. Um,
I have a few more guests lined up, but after that, we're definitely gonna do a part two because I love talking to you about movies and I love movies. So it's like it's too much. We have to do a part two eventually.
yeah,
Uh,
definitely. We can definitely get more in depth about the movies and stuff like that, especially um, like especially storylines. I love storylines and story arcs. It's my favorite thing about movies altogether is like character development. If a movie doesn't have character development, I'm just like
then what are you doing? Not watching Manchester by the Sea?
I'm not.
This does not.
Anyways, I will leave it at that. Yeah, but this was definitely fun. Thank you for inviting me on your show. I really appreciate it, and
Appreciate you.
um,
Appreciate you.
I can't wait to have you as a guest on
Ooh,
my podcast.
ooh.
That'd be interesting for sure.
That'll be exciting. I'll be very excited. I'll be very excited. And I would say some shit to upset you too, just like you talk about Birdman. I'll find
Listen,
something.
I didn't do
You know
anything
what I'll do?
purposely to upset you. It's just the truth.
I will watch The Sound of Music and I'll find anything wrong with that movie.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay.
And I'll come back to you like, oh, what about this and Sound of Music?
Okay.
But yeah, I
All right.
appreciate you for taking the time and joining me in this podcast. It means a lot to me. And yeah, this is one of my favorite episodes because it's dope as fuck. And we'll definitely do a part two.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Perfect. Have a lovely day and
No, no, no. We're gonna keep rolling for like 5 hours. I'll just hit stop. Everybody, go. Bye, 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 bye. It's over. It's over. 1 hour. I'm just gonna tell her bye in private because I don't want this to finish. Just bye. It's over the podcast. Okay.
bye
Thank
guys.
you.
Thanks for having me.
I think I'm being a little bit rude, but thank you. I really appreciate your support for sticking through this 1 hour. If you've made it to this 1 hour, and there's a little bit of a change. I've been doing this podcast once a week, every Sunday, but I think we'll push it to 3 times a week because fuck it. I can't wait. I usually can't wait until Sunday to talk to the people that I want to talk to. So I'll wait. I'll make it 3 times a week: Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. That way, I don't have to wait for nothing. And yeah, I hope you stick to. It was a pleasure doing this for you. And bye bye.